So your lawn was looking pretty good. Then summer hit, and now parts of it are turning brown. You start watering more. Maybe you throw down some fertilizer. Maybe you panic buy a product at the garden center. Brown grass in the summer can mean several different things. And if you go out and treat the wrong one, then you can actually make the problem worse. On today's episode, we're going to break down the most common reasons why your grass is turning brown and how to diagnose and actually fix them. If you are new here, welcome to Tommy's Turf Talks. I have spent over 15 years in the lawn and landscape industry, and this channel is all about helping homeowners get better results without spending a fortune or turning lawn care into a second full-time job. Real lawn care, real life, real results. Let's start with the one that scares homeowners every single year: dormancy. Sometimes your lawn is not dying, it's just trying to survive. Cool season grasses don't especially love 90-degree, sunny, hot weather. When the summer heat shows up and moisture is limited, then the grass can literally hit the pause button. Growth slows down, the color starts to fade, things begin to turn brown or tan, and people start to panic and tend to start watering a lot all the time. But cool season grasses going dormant is actually a natural defense mechanism. It's basically like your grass saying, you know what, I'm going to hold up, I'm going to shut down and protect all my nutrients and my cells and let this heat wave pass us by. How do you determine if your grass is just going dormant or you have something else going on? Well, usually with dormancy, the grass is going to uniformly change color. So you'll see an entire area of your lawn turn brown or tan right away, all at once. You're not going to get small little patches, weird little shapes. It is just going to turn tan and shut itself off for a couple of weeks until the heat starts to die down. How do you fix dormancy? Well, there's really not much to fix. You can just let the grass do its thing. If you don't mind not having a green, lush lawn all year long, then I would just let it be. And hopefully you get some rainfall soon, or the heat dies down and your grass can bounce back to life. Now, if you do want to keep a nice green lawn all year long, then you're going to have to water. That's really the only fix to get the grass out of its dormancy state. Make sure that you're watering deeply and infrequently. I would say 2 to 3 times per week and about a half an hour or 45 minutes per watering session. And make sure that you always water in the morning. You could let your grass go too long in dormancy and it will actually start to die. Depends on the type of grass plants that you have in your lawn, but the first one that's going to die off is going to be your ryegrass. Ryegrass can really only go about 2 weeks or so without any drop of water, and the crowns and the roots of the grass are going to start to die off. Bluegrass can go about 3 to 4 weeks without a drop of water, and it will go dormant, but it will bounce back once it gets some water in it. And your fescues out there, especially tall fescue, can go a very long period of time without any water. You're talking over a month, month and a half without a drop, and that grass will bounce right back. If your grass is in dormancy, make sure you're keeping track of how long it's been in that state, and make sure you're doing at least a little bit of watering after a few weeks to try to keep that grass alive. You don't need to water it so much to pop it out of dormancy, just giving it a little bit to keep some moisture down in the crowns and the roots of the grass to make sure it survives this hot, dry period of the summer. Next up is heat stress. Heat stress is what comes before your grass goes into dormancy. It's basically what causes the grass to go into its dormant state. There's a lot of people out there that will get dormancy and heat stress confused. Heat stress is your grass actively starting to get stressed out because of the heat and the dry weather. Dormancy is what is caused by the heat stress. Your plant starts to shut down and try to conserve its energy. Now, how can you tell if your plant is beginning to show signs of heat stress? Well, you're going to start to see bluish gray color in the grass, especially at a distance. Like as you're driving home up to your lawn, you can kind of see the bluish gray tint to your lawn. Also, the grass will just start to not grow as quickly and start to turn brown or tan very quickly, especially along areas that are getting drenched in the sun all day long, such as along curb lines, along driveways, or areas that have very little shade. If your grass is experiencing heat stress and you want to try to help it out, then how do you do that? Well, again, the answer is just watering. You want to water 2 to 3 times per week to achieve that 1 to 1.5 inches of water going down on the lawn every single week. Now, if you want to decrease the amount of waterings that you have to do or not have your lawn stress out as much, then raising that mower height will definitely help. People tend to cut their grass way too low, especially during the heat of the summer. You want to try to maintain that 3.5 to 4 inch cut length, and this will help to shade the soil and help the soil and the roots conserve water and not evaporate so quickly. This is one of the biggest things that will help your lawn stay green in the summer that most people are not doing. That, of course, brings us to mowing mistakes. So a lot of people, like I mentioned earlier, are mowing their grass way too short. This is going to stress out your grass, especially in the hot, dry periods of the summer. And if you cut your grass very, very short, then those roots are going to also be very, very short, which will make your lawn way more susceptible to heat stress and other kinds of stressors like diseases or insects that might come in and try to attack it during the summer months. So even though you might not like that shaggy look to your lawn, I would highly recommend cutting that grass between 3.5 to 4 inches all through the summer to help you maintain a greener lawn, a healthier lawn, and not have to deal with so many issues as the weeks go by. One more thing that many people tend to overlook is making sure to sharpen your mower blades. If you haven't sharpened your lawnmower blades in many years, then I guarantee you they're very, very dull. And instead of slicing that grass off nice and clean, you're ripping that grass apart. And when you rip that grass off, instead of cleanly cutting it, you're opening up the top of that grass blade for infection from diseases, pest infestation, and heat and drought stress. One last thing that I see all the time, a big mistake homeowners are making, is that they are waiting a week, week and a half, 2 weeks to cut their lawn, and then they're going out there and taking 6 inches of grass down to 3 inches right off the bat. They're cutting off 50% of that grass blade. Now, what this is doing is that it's removing a ton of moisture and nutrients away from that grass plant. The ideal situation is that you want to remove no more than 1/3 of the grass blade at any one time. This is going to reduce the stress that mowing can do to the lawn and also help to maintain all of those nutrients and moisture that's inside that grass blade. Maybe you actually have some disease problems going on right now. If you start to notice strange, irregular shapes, circular patches in your lawn that are turning tan or brown, maybe some pink colors in the morning, then you might have disease issues. When we get into the hot, humid periods of the summer, these are the kind of conditions that diseases, especially fungal diseases, love, love, love. They just explode during these times of years. Now, inside of your lawn, your thatch layer, your soil, you've got all kinds of organisms down there that can start to cause these diseases. But it's only when the conditions are ripe that cause enough growth for us to notice the symptoms of these infections. Now, there are a ton of different lawn diseases out there, and a lot of them that infect our home lawns are purely cosmetic. They're not going to kill off your grass, but they are going to make it look really bad for a period of time. Watering is not the answer to fixing these problems. You don't want to start just pouring water on these problems, because what you're going to do is actually make them a lot worse. Best thing to do is to go out there and look at the grass blades. If you see any kind of weird discoloration on the blade, any kind of lesions, or go out there in the morning, if you see any kind of white or pink growth on the tops of the blades, then most likely you have a lawn disease. Some lawn diseases like red thread, rust, and dollar spot will benefit from a light application of some nitrogen to get things moving again. But if you've got large tan or brown patches, you might be dealing with brown patch or summer patch. These things you do not want to throw fertilizer down on because it will actually make the problem worse. If you've got these lawn disease symptoms, then first and foremost, make sure that you're not watering at night. You want to make sure to water in the morning always. Also, it would not be a bad idea if you've got a disease starting in just one area of your lawn to bag those clippings when you're mowing. And when you go to mow the other areas of your lawn, quickly wash off your mower blades so that you don't spread this disease to other areas of your lawn. This could definitely slow it down. And if you are very concerned with lawn diseases, you could always go with a fungicide application. These products need to be put down right as conditions start to change and become ideal for the growth of these fungal lawn diseases. In most cases, that's going to be late spring, early summer is when you're going to want to start to apply these, because a lot of them will act as preventative and they'll protect the plant from these infections. Some will also be a curative, where they'll go in and they'll kill off the disease that's already inside the plant. But none of the fungicides out there will actually repair damage that's already been done. That is just going to take time and growth of the plant to grow out the damage. If you do want to try to use a fungicide, then I would recommend one called Headway. This is a great granular fungicide, easy to put down with a spreader, and not that expensive compared to a lot of other options. One quick pro tip. Maybe your lawn was actually looking worse in the spring and it's starting to improve itself because you had a grub problem this past spring. Right now, you're going to want to put down any kind of imidacloprid. This is the best one to put down in June or early July. It will give you control of those grubs later on in the summer, and you won't be out there tearing up grass trying to reseed frantically because grubs are eating all of your roots. If you want to avoid those grub problems in the future, make sure that your lawn is not looking like crap when it comes into fall. Then I would recommend putting down a grub application right now in the month of June or early July. If you are looking for more lawn care tips, this is Tommy's Turf Talks. I'm pulling for you.